Well, it's been a month now here in the dark forest. I started this journey in November. Got me a small spot of land right in the middle. It's not much to look at now, but we're getting there. Started with just a chainsaw, my hopes and dreams, and this little rocket I'm driving. She's not going to win any races, but she gets the job done. Been sleeping in a tent so far, but winter is coming fast. I might need to think about finding something a little more weatherproof. I don't want to leave this place for winter. I've got so much to do, and I'm making good progress. Trying to reform deforested land is tough. There's not much there I can make any money from, apart from tree stumps. And you know what? I've done quite well so far. This farming thing's about to take off. Got me my first tractor. That's a start. Can't be a farmer without a tractor. It's slow going. This land is tough. Got a lot of clearing to do. More work than I anticipated. Okay. I was naive to think it was going to be easy, but I'm in it for the long haul. We're making progress. Maybe I can get some dirt moving before spring. It's December now. Winter is well on its way. If I have any chance to make any money this spring, I gotta get some work done. Get what's left of these trees cleared, sell them for as much as I can. Not much here after that, but some patches of grass. I think there's enough to make a couple bales. Clear this brush out, and I can really see what I'm working with. Yeah. Most people would just drive past places like this. Forgotten land, used up and discarded. Not me. Oh, there's purpose here for me. And I think I can find it. So, the sky is blue and the sun is up. Let's get to work. Hello, and welcome back to the Dark Forest Deforested, my Farming Simulator 25 Land Reclamation Survival Series, where my goal is to reform this deforested and barren land into a working and prosperous farm. This is episode 2, Brush Please! Thank you for watching. I hope you like this little dramatic intros I do to set the scene, and if you're watching for the first time, welcome. I am TheCouchFarmer. I hope you enjoy this episode. As always, I'm not going to chat through the entire episode, but I will chime in now and then to explain what I'm doing. So, last episode we left off having cleared half of my land of the remaining tree stumps. So far, selling stumps has been our only source of income. It's been quite good. We've managed to afford a new tractor with a front loader and a grabber. Even got a little wood trailer for my transport vehicle. I gotta think of a name for it. She's slowly becoming my new favorite vehicle in this game. If you have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments. I thought about calling it my little red rocket, but that might be a little too inappropriate. Alright, got the rest of the land to clear with stumps. This front loader is making it easier. I can make bigger cuts. But as you've probably seen, I definitely need a rear weight. So, that's what I'll head over and do now. By selling larger cuts, maybe I can make a little extra too. Going to be selling the trees to the sawmill this time. They're buying for a little less than the carpenter does, but only a couple of dollars. And the time saved in transit makes up for the price. Oh, this'll do. And it's yellow. There we go. And it fits nicely and doesn't look too bad. Alright, let's get back to work. Alright, well, let's see what our first load of logs can come up with this month. Selling at the carpenter this time. Nice! Just over $6,000. That leaves us with $14,000 in the bank. Good start. Well, we got plenty more logs to do, so let's get back at it. Just look how good this car is. Such a cool looking truck. So majestic. Red Rocket. That's inappropriate. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Maybe Bob. Okay, second load to the sawmill. Nice, almost 4,000. We're making progress. We're making progress. Gotta save up a little bit more money, trying to get some grass equipment going, because that's all we've got left other than the stumps is a bunch of patches of grass, and once I can make as much money as I can from the land, it's get the plough in, see what we can do. Okay, well, the tent was fun, but it's winter now, and I like surviving in a little bit more comfort. So I got this lovely Winnebago. That should make surviving the winter just a little bit more comfortable, but not too comfortable. Couldn't afford anything bigger. And quite frankly, I don't know if I want to stay this bit, so it'll do for now. I'm a long way from settling down into a main farmhouse, but when I do, I think I'll probably do a constructible, just for the added, realism. Alright, let's move on. Alright, now, tree stump grinder. Found this Tree Be Gone in the mod hub. This looks perfect, and it fits on my front loader. So I think we'll get this, and it's not too expensive. Because we got to clear these stumps before we can get any field in. Alright, well, let's get started on that. Okay, well, I think that's enough logs for now. I should have enough money after I sell these to start thinking about getting some grass cutting equipment. Get ourselves a nice mower, or a cheap one. Okay, 10 grand. That'll do nicely. Need something that I can work with the tractor that I've got, so slim pickings, but we're not here to buy the best equipment right off, so let's see what we can find and go from there. Okay. Nice, this will do nicely. I actually love how this looks. And in the future, you can add more to the side, so maybe I can have a fleet of these all connected. We'll see. But it doesn't take that much horsepower, which my tractor doesn't have, so this will do nicely. Just make it look good, and then we'll get it to work. Awesome. Okay, well, even though it's just small patches of grass around the edge, I think that's a fair amount. I should get a fair amount of bales from that. Nice. Well, off to the south side. See what I can get there, and then we'll see how much we can bale. Alright, so I think the plan now is I'm going to get a tedder. There's one that can actually switch between both tedding and windrowing, and it's quite cheap. There it is. Awesome. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to ted for a little bit, make some hay, and then I'm going to switch it to windrowing. I'm going to make some hay, I'm going to make some silage. That way I can sell the hay straight away, keep the silage, get that income in a couple of months. But that makes sense to me anyway, but we'll see how much I make. Alright, well, not too shabby. I think we can get quite a few bales from this. So it's off to get a baler. Alright, well this is the cheapest one I can find for the decent size that I can find. There we go, 20 grand. And I quite like the look of them. Okay, well, 36 bales, not bad. Not bad for the small amount of meadow grass I had around the border of this land. Some of that is hay, a lot of that is grass, which I now have to wrap. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. 36 isn't bad at all. Okay, let's see how much hay is going to make us. I don't anticipate it being a lot. Not bad, not terrible. Okay. I'll probably make hay more for livestock down the line than sell it, but you know, it'll make us some money right now, so let's go sell it. Alright, wrappers. I'm not really spoiled for choice here. This is all I can afford, so this is all I'm gonna get. But I'm not gonna buy it this time. I'm only gonna lease it. Only this time. Next time I make bales, I will have to buy the wrapper. So I can usually, part of the rules in this thing is I can lease something for like a one-time use, like a harvester or whatever. Right now, I'm leasing this. Hopefully I can find something in the used market down the line, but this is a one-off. Next time, I will have to buy a wrapper. If this is the way I'm doing silage, I may change my mind and put it in a pit. We'll see. Okay, the bales are at 3%. Alright, well let's go to the next month. Time for bed. Well-earned rest. 29% fermentation. That might take a couple of months then for it to be ready for selling. So for now, let's get a grabber and get it piled up and put it to the side because I'm going to need this space to plough. You ever get that feeling where you find money in your pocket that you forgot was there? Well, this is one of those situations. I totally forgot that these trees were ready for being sold. I'm surprised that the market never called me to complain that it's been parked there the entire time, but I think I'm their only customer. Anyway, let's see how much we make. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap up this episode. I hope you've enjoyed this little series so far. I'm new to YouTube, as you've probably noticed. I've been an avid viewer for a long time, but I've never really made anything myself until now. So if you're still watching, thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope it's been entertaining, or at the very least not annoying. I am recording everything on my PlayStation 5, and the episode is edited in Share Factory. And it's been quite fun. I know it's not the best in the world, but that's not why I'm here. I do this because I'm enjoying it. And I'm still trying to figure out my style of gameplay editing, so not sure I like everything done with time-lapse. I don't know, it's a work in progress. So thank you for sticking with me if you're still here. I don't know about you, but when I'm meant to be working, I usually have a farming simulator let's play going on in the background. There's something about this game that I just really enjoy, and I'm sure you do too. I used to play a lot of first-person shooters, but at this point in my life, I really enjoy just sitting back and listening to my favorite podcast, which, by the way, is the last podcast on the left. They are amazing. Check them out. While I'm doing that, I'm usually just farming or doing something here in Farming Simulator. That's what I do to relax at night. So really, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Next episode, we're going to finish ploughing, and hopefully I can have something growing come spring. Gotta start making money if I'm going to buy all this barren land and make it into a farm. Alright, until next time, I am TheCouchFarmer, and you have a good one. Bye.